bless everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, and participating and coming. Thank you very much. Again, today is a very special day according to the Buddhist calendar. Today is the Lha Bab Duchen, Buddha descending from heaven, which is considered one of the very important meritorious days. That what we do some virtuous activity, dharma practices, whatever we do with reflecting our compassion and loving kindness thought to all others according to our capabilities. According to the teaching, it is really powerful. It will multiply very, very beautiful. Timing is so season or timing, the situation is so good according to teaching. So therefore, again, we had a great opportunity to again be together and discussing the teaching of the Buddha Dharma according to our capabilities. Not just discussing, some really also we're trying to observe that into our heart and practices, kind of activating our Dharma practices, which is wonderful, which is beautiful, and which is really one of the very great things we can do in our lives. I mean, of course, there's many other great things, but this is something that we touch to our heart, our core, our very beings, our own being, which is very, very special. And with that, again, bring more joy and appreciation. Joy and appreciation to ourselves, and kind of feel good what we're doing, that really kind of feel happy with that. And that which is practice too, that is a Dharma too. Bring joy and happy, our deed, and our attitude, our motivation, what we're doing. We are in practice. It's wonderful, beautiful. It's not just making those words, like making that. It's true, it's really beautiful, special. Joy and appreciation with content the heart of the with love and compassion. I don't say anybody can dispute with that. That's not good. It's very wonderful. It's special. And of course, all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, every enlightenment will be appreciated, and they will be acknowledged to our deeds, and we can keep on that. With that thought, and then Bodhichitta, as we all know, again, at our gathering together, practice is really the purpose to benefit for all living beings. According to Mahayana practitioners, when we take the Bodhichitta, we're thinking to everyone's trying to help and support them to bring them to the enlightenment state. For that very reason, I'm really practicing. So this is absolutely based upon compassion, thinking of all living beings. This Bodhichitta compassion has no boundaries, that we all know that. So extend our love and compassion and pray to every living being, wish that sincerely from our heart and mind. If we do that, that is again so powerful, so special. And then also we believe it will make us one of the peacemakers in the world, in a localized ways. Peacemaker. Peace started from, not from outside, start from our heart, ourselves. And so bring the peace and harmony to ourselves, peace and harmony to our family, peace and harmony to our neighbors, our friends, and our all. That is how to start peacemaking. Peacemaking as a ripple effect. Peace. We make peace and harmony. And it is wonderful, beautiful. And with those thoughts, and then again we're going to activate our realization of the three Vajra states, or purity states. In the Vajrayana teaching, always Buddha said in the Vajrayana teaching, all the masters is pure, everything is purity state, even though we don't really see right this moment, but reality is pure. So at least lining up our motivation toward that direction, to that everything is purity states. Vajra form, Vajra song, Vajra mind and space. I mean, many of you already know those things. So it's not just a kind of leave that intellectual status on the shelf or somewhere else behind scene, but activating that is known as practicing. That is really known as a practice. So that is our kind of responsibility in a way. So therefore, reactivating that. With those thoughts, then we go to the teaching of the great master. He's on the Dudjom, which is that teaching we are following. So again, we went yesterday, what we went on this we went yesterday about the 7 of the lines of this heart advice. that advice, 7 lines, and which is what in here again I read this, and do not mistakenly about the result of the virtuous and virtuous actions. Actions. So that means do not mistaken. That means what? Don't ignore. Don't ignore. Don't kind of skip the way. Every action has result, consequences. Whether it's good, whether it's small. We're really trying to be very thoughtful. Mindfulness. If we do the mindfulness with every our actions, then it has very virtues, because I think we know what means virtues, what means unvirtuous. So every action, not kind of like naively ignoring and kind of like just kind of forget that. If we can keep up that, so special. Even the smallest actions can have huge result that we know. Smallest actions. So that is whether it is the smallest negativities based upon the ignorance and attachment and anger and the self-important action, it has result, big result according to Buddha's teaching. Even the smallest actions of the virtues, something beneficial activities, nice smile to the others, kind of nice welcoming to the other, just a simple word, 1 second or 2 minutes or 1 minute. That action, according to Buddhism, it has really big impact, big helps. And that is what in the Buddha teaching use examples. Small, the sparking fire can burn the whole city. It started from small fire, a small sparking. Or in a small poison. Put in one big bowl something, soup. It kills or disturbs so many beings. Similarly, medicine, when we take, it's not big, complex. It's small, but it has meaning. In fact, same way, our mind, actions really do that. And then, of course, you all know that virtuous activity or non-virtuous activities. Again, being practitioner is not just leave the knowledge on the shelf or behind some mind or on the brain. Have activated that as much as you can. Or we can, I'm not just you. We all should. Really activated that. That is known as practices. You can be happy with that. What I'm doing. Should dedicate it, that merit. That is merit to all the beings. If somehow it's not acting exactly aligned our practice, even the smallest things, if we notice that, immediately purify, clean away. Shouldn't stay that stain, that shadow in our mental status. Or in the Buddha teaching, alayas. Then it goes deeper, clean away as much as we can. And stay more kind of calm and peaceful, beautiful state is known as the practitioners. So here, the great master, his only Dudjom, said, not mistakes. We shouldn't mistakenly our actions, kind of ignoring something is even is kind of negativity or not good activity, or that's okay, it's too small. We shouldn't do that. And we can. Really shouldn't ignore. Even the smallest things, that's too small, what we has big deals with this. No, it has big deals. Whatever our attitude, the mind reflected, it really has big impacts. That Buddha, gracious teacher, Buddha and Master Guru, Samye, they all use examples, those poisons, fires, medicines, all those use the example, trying to ring that bell in our heart and mind, or brain. It's true. That is what here says. So all those actions. And then with this, next one is that in the Vajrayana teaching we went yesterday to the next one is there's his own Dudjom listed 4 permanent wealth. 4 permanent wealth. should be regarded in discourse, known as the everlasting wealth of the practitioner, that should be regarded as indispensable. This full wealth is on the listed there. This wealth is so important. And we like to make our practice more rich, more fulfillment, more developed, and more like advanced to the path. These four are so important. They are necessary. They are the life force of the practitioners. Really life force. Somehow, if we're missing this wealth, then we become poor, spiritually poor. And then become poorer and poorer. If we reduce it that lower and lower, all this understand this. If we lower down, we become poorer and poorer. Then maybe we have to file the bankruptcy, spiritual bankruptcy. If we really don't, and then many times that happens, practitioners, not just only now, but in ancient time too. Then they're thinking something, they have big things such as Dzogchen, Mahamudra, Tsalom, and Tomo, they look into those things that really they miss the point. This is the wealth. Whether you practice in the Dzogchen, whether you practice in Mahamudra, whether you practice in Tomo, we need this wealth. And we don't have this wealth, our practice, Dzogchen practice, they become dry, has no moistures, no nutrition. So therefore, here is everlasting wealth. If we have that, always the practice of Dzogchen, Mahamudras, Tsalom, all like our visualization practice, it becomes so rich, so fulfillment. It's really so rewarding. And if we don't have these things, these qualities, wealth, and as well as these like cause and effect are inevitable. If we don't follow that, then we become what's kind of shallow practitioners. Then it will become almost like failures. So therefore, if we like to really fulfillment and successful, as Great Master Lung Chimpa, as Great Master Padma Rinpoche, as Great Master Malarepas, this wealth is. This is the wealth. All those great masters. Among that, we discussed yesterday the teacher, root teacher, who went through little details of, you know already. We discussed those things before, and I'm sure you know already. Teacher they are divided into 4 different teachers, 4 groups of teachers. For ourselves, our capabilities, most of us are ordinary beings. That means we are with the emotions, with the ego clingings, with the dualities. We will not have capability, according to the teaching, capabilities to receive the teaching such as from Bodhisattvas. What that means, those individually or practically who have any positive booming, or even the accumulation part, education part, those great masters, we won't have the capability to see. Maybe there's also not really many that we can meet. Those. Maybe there is some, but according to Buddha teaching, realization is kept as quiet and peaceful as a stone of the deep of oceans. They're not bragging, showing. Even they're bragging, showing something, we won't trust it. Or even say that openly, we won't trust it. We will connect. Therefore, our capabilities is among those 4 teachers, the perfect, good, ordinary teacher, which has those qualifications, great master, gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, highlighted, indicated. And we have all those teachers. That is what really we should contact. That use that, and we can then advance to the path. Have those things. So, and that is how we respect Teacher we respect with appreciation, joy, devotions, and also preciousness. Preciousness. And then in the teaching, as I said yesterday, in the recording, Gohengal Patantas, what the teaching said. Respect as kings or leaders. Respect as our dear uncles. Respect our dear fathers. Respect as our dear mothers. And precious and preserve and honor and keep respect as our eye, the eye, 2 eyes. And respect and honor and keep life as our heart. Our growth of the spiritual realization is very much dependent to the qualified teachers until we have some high realization. Then, of course, we can advance the teachers one after another. But however, in the Buddha teaching said, what Buddha said, until you reach the enlightenment or complete Buddhahood, never give up the teaching. Always, until you reach the enlightenment, you should contact with the qualified teacher or the teacher. Of course, the qualified teacher. Contact them. It's so important, so specious. There is no single Buddha or no single Bodhisattvas achieve the realizations without the teacher. Everyone really has realization and become the Buddha because of the connecting to the qualified teaching and following the instructions and keep instruction in the heart and following them. That's why we really need. So therefore, to keep the connection with the joy and appreciation and with the respect and preciousness, devotion, that is wealth, spiritual wealth. If we do this, we will become more richer. It's not something that we're benefiting to the teacher. It includes, we nourish ourselves. Read all those great masters of the past. And now too, all those great masters we quote, how in their life story, how they contact to their masters, how they preserve and honored and contract and follow and keep the practices. That is the examples, models of this. So, therefore, this is the first treasure, as he's always mentioned, or teaching said. First treasure, first wealth. Somehow we're missing that. We are missing the 25% of the wealth, or maybe more. Generally, in the teaching said, when we join the stillness king, when we do this like 10th day puja, 25th puja, we join the stillness, which is translated in English in our book, the stillness king. The number one of the 14 downfalls, first one is disobeying, disrespectful to the Vajracharya or Vajra master is the first downfalls. If we do that, according to Buddhism and the Vajrayana teaching, our spiritual ground is trembling, shaking. That's what the religious teaching said. So that's how it is. And so that is really about this first one. The next one is this next wealth is love and affection for the Samye brothers and sisters. Love and affection for the Samye brothers. That is second wealth. Second wealth of this teaching. Generally, what? According to in the Mahayana teaching, of course, all Buddha teaching is love and compassion to others. Is so important because teaching, Buddha's teaching essence, the heart essence teaching of it is loving kindness, compassion, non-violence, peace. Peace and non-violence start with the compassion, loving kindness. So all teaching is the love and compassion, based upon loving kindness and compassion. Compassion. But particularly Mahayana highlighted compassion. Mahayana teaching highlighted for all the sentient beings without any boundaries. Boundaries. So therefore, again, of course, to all the sentient beings have to love and affections, according to Mahayana, according to Vedayantas. Particularly here, teaching, talking, those who share the same samayas, same teaching, same practices. That is known as the same, similar samaya, or who share the same samayas. Those, whether they are male, whether they are female, or men or women. And as in Goenga Tantra, again, what is the teaching said? There is 4 groups of the brothers and the sisters. First one is called general brother and sisters. The second is known as the brother, inner brother and sisters. And third one is the close brother and sister. Third group is. Fourth group is very intimate brother and sisters. These 4 are our general brothers and sisters, all of them. The first one is general brothers and sisters. Who they are? Now all the sentient beings, as Mahayana, Bodhichitta will say, may all living beings have happiness and cause of happiness. And may all living beings, instead of that, maybe in this case we can use, may all our brothers and sisters have the happiness and cause of happiness. Every living being. So all living beings is a general brother and sisters. In the teaching, how say it in that? Those who all have the Buddha nature. All who have the Buddha nature, they are our brother and sisters. So that's the general brothers and sisters. Then inner brothers and sisters, who are they? According to teaching, is all the follower of the Buddhism, or Buddha, follower of the Buddhas, is called inner brothers and sisters. We share, follow the same great masters, teaching, the Buddha Shakyamuni. Inner. And then, known as, one is the closer brothers and sisters. We share the similar views and share the same mandalas, same practices, same meditations, similar accumulation practices. Those are known as the closely connected brother and sisters. Then intimate brothers and sisters. Those are, in the teaching, same teacher, same practices, and practices receiving the same teaching in one circles, enter in the same mandalas, same time, and receive the empowerment in the teachings, and transmission with the instructions. Those are known as intimate brothers. In the teaching said, in the Tantra Vedic, and the teaching said, the intimate brother actually is not just the intimate brothers and sisters now, but we will accompany them until we reach enlightenment, according to the teaching. And therefore, respect and appreciation, kind and nice to each other, so important. How they use the examples? As like in Tibet, they have the butter lambs. And this is the intimate brother, they will accompany together as butter and a wick and a fire. Then keep burning, keep lighting, keep illuminating throughout the lifetime. So therefore, His Holiness Dudjom said, the affection, and affection, love and affection to that one would say samayas. And what else? For example, if we think of this, like now we start talking this, like the 14 root dawn force. When we read that praise, what is third of that? Third dawn pose. We angrily criticizing, fighting with the various brothers and sisters is a third dawn pose. That is Buddha Shakyamuni said in the poem of the Vedic Dara, or the Samye brothers, or the great masters. So therefore, it is always so really, when this can happen, we can happen these things, nothing really unusual because we are ordinary sentient beings. But cleansing and purifying. Also, gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni gives the perfect tools of how to clean, how to purify, and how to advance ourselves. So, purification practices, so powerful and so important. And we keep up that, we have now 50% wealth. We are intact. 50%, all intact. And the next one is, then is what? Next wealth, according here, teachings. Bodhichitta, compassion toward Bodhichitta, compassion toward all mother sentient beings. That is wealth. Bodhichitta is wealth of the practitioners. And of course, I won't go into too many things about Bodhichitta. We all know. We all receive these teachings. We all been discussing this law many times because it's so important, so special, and necessary is the foundation of these entire practices. But this is, again, that means compassion, Bodhichitta is not just do these practices while we do the sadhanas or chant 3 times those prayers. It means his own Dudjom is saying always, because this is the wealth of all the time, everlasting wealth. Therefore, we keep this wealth all the time, whether we are in the meditation status or the practice status, or whether we are in post-meditation status. We should keep this bodhicittas. Bodhichitta has 2. We discussed earlier, and you know all that. Relative true bodhicitta and absolute true bodhicitta. According to your practices, apply that as much as you can. Particularly bodhicitta of relative truth with 4 boundless thought. Really wishing that to all the sentient beings as much as you can to all the beings. And we have that, then this is, will become like 75% of the wealthy. We're quite well off, very much. So that is bodhicitta. Keep all the time that bodhicitta. And the next one is, next wealth is, then, the impermanent. Here, said that, and the reduction of the grasping due to the knowledge that all component things are impermanent. And everything is impermanent. There is nothing is really not impermanent. That means all the relative truth is impermanent status. There is, according to the teaching, there is 2 kinds of impermanence. Impermanent, something that's certainly impermanent, that we won't detect ourselves. Because, and there is gross impermanent, that which we detect, we know when that happens. The subtle impermanent is just constantly happening. There is no stopping point. Everything is moving and changing. Changing to the different stages. Even our eye and knowledge didn't detect it according to teaching. Everything, both external, this universal world, and ourself, our physical condition, and all is changing. And ours, as well as our mind is changing. There's nothing really lasts forever. For those reasons, in the teaching say, there's the end of the birth is to death. End of the birth is death. End of the building up, erecting, is going to fall apart, or demolish, or fall apart, or going to crumble. End of gathering is going to parting. End of the accumulating the wealth is going to exhaust it. End of the high stages is going to fall down. This is the way the nature is. There's nothing is going to last forever. For therefore, should not grasping, clinging. Always that have that thought as much as with that thought is like magical. Magic is like a mirage, like reflection moon in waters. With those understanding, increasing more love and compassion, wisdom to all the beings, and enjoy and appreciate ourselves of this situation. Even though those are all like impermanent, but yet we are really functioning perfectly beautifully. How wonderful, how beautiful. You this time for the beautiful fulfillment. That is known as practitioners. If we have keep this up whole, then here is on Dudjom said everlasting wealth of the practitioners. If we add one more, as I said yesterday, the cause and effects are inevitable. If we put up that, then is just perfect. And also this encompasses, like in the teaching, what called Paul renunciation thoughts. This is also encompassed Paul renunciation thoughts. True. Therefore, it's just have those thought and attitude is really the foundation of the practice, and that makes practice so beautiful, so strong, and we will become very wealthy practitioners. Really spiritually very wealthy, and we will leave this wealth with us according to the teaching. When we leave this world, this wealth, whatever you develop on the richness of the spiritual, it will came with us. It's never going to leave behind as samsara and material wealth. This will come. This is therefore his own Dudjom said everlasting wealth. This is not going to something leave behind and then empty hand, leave the world. We go with full of hand, full with heart filled with rich courage and commitment, confidence. Really we leave this according to the teaching. So this is this four wealth, and that is my brief talk for today, and thank you very much everyone again for participating. And then I like to do this, even though maybe again we're going to pause for quite a while, but I like to complete this teaching of his own Dudjom slowly by slowly. So that's my kind of thinking, and as well as here Sangha members in Samye also kind of encourage me to do that, and I like to do that. And thank you very much for participating again. Thank you everybody. Thank you. And then today is a very special day, as I said, Lha Bab Duchen. So now we do the Lha Bab Duchen prayers, Buddha descending ceremony of practice. And remembering that and do the practice. If you have time, please join with us. We will do the ceremony. Thank you. And then if you are the bullet of the Buddha sadhana, we follow with that. This is Buddha sadhana. You have already, so please open this. And now, if we have this Buddha sadhana, the new version.